Hey everybody, we are back with a garden tour again. I am here in full garden regalia. I was just going through photos of all of this last night, and this place was basically an empty lot. There was nothing here. It was flat like that roof. And 10 years ago, almost 11 years ago, I moved in here to build out this garden with so many friends. And I was looking at all the photos and how lush it is and how I couldn't even imagine it would look like this now. So today's garden tour is going to look at seeds. So we've moved past the wart moon, right, which is really like early July. We move into right now. I actually don't know what the full moon coming up is, but I'll look that up for you. And you'll notice too, I haven't watered the garden fully yet. I've have these little soaker hose irrigations in here. Shoop, can you see them? And then what happens is I put the hose, I attach the hose to them, and then they irrigate, but I still need to spot water. So right now I'm irrigating this side. But you can see, right, like the sunflower's wilty, and it doesn't really have a ton of oomph in it. And so up here our soil is so thin that we have to water in this heat. It's like 90 up to 95 degrees. We have to water twice a day even, and so that becomes quite a lot. Yeah, so we have the soil up here is really only about that thick here in the meadow, right? And then in the beds, it starts with about a foot deep and goes to about 2 feet deep. And so that means that we have not a lot of soil and not a lot of soil depth, but a lot of drainage. So everything dries out really quickly. But let's talk a little bit about seed heads, shall we? So, shoop. I want to look and focus on some of these local grasses and plants that we have here, right? So here, just in this spot, I really like my garden wild. I don't love weed whacking or trimming. You can see the little footpaths that we kind of create where we put our yoga mats down, but we have these beautiful natural grasses which help to keep the soil in place, and then they perform much better over time because they don't have to have so much water. And so we can look right here. Right here is a native plant called lady's thumbprint, and this has the most beautiful flowers, which are also, as they ripen and turn brown, you can notice that they kind of fall off, and these inside these little flowers, as they dry out and the seeds ripen inside, they will carry the new plants for the next generation. And so these are beautiful. We eat these leaves when they're young. Right now they're a little too tough. It's too hot for leaves in the Midwest. But we have these beautiful light pink flowers. They're one of my favorites to have out here. And then we have these beautiful grasses. Let's look at this one. All right, we have these beautiful kind of fuzzy grasses, and these are just so lovely to have around because they're really kind of caterpillary, but they come in these chunks and these clumps, right? And they have long flat leaves, which is a hallmark of grasses. And here in Illinois in the prairie lands, we have tons of native grasses with huge root systems that really take advantage of breaking up this plethora of beautiful soil that we have here just in this state and in this place. So we have these guys. What is one of my goals to learn? It's one of my goals to learn more about the native grass names, but I didn't get to that before doing this video for you. So we have these little fuzzy heads, right? And then we have these guys. This is in 2 different stages right now. So we have these, which are closely related to corn, you can tell. If you've ever seen corn growing, right? Corn is a grass. Corn is a monster, huge grass that we've cultivated to be bigger and bigger. But it has these kind of corn husky type leaves. They're nice and big and flat, kind of dry. And then it has what you would almost recognize as corn silk up here, except it's not on a cob. It has this little spray up top. But they're related. And so you can see how this one's pretty new. Oh, trying again. That one's pretty new, but then we go to this one over here, which is opening up, and you can see how this guy opens up, right, to allow for each of the seeds to become pollinated and to ripen away from all of the rest of them. You can see here the pollen. I believe that's pollen over here, and this is what the bees and the flies and the pollinators just love. So there's two different kinds of grasses. I'm gonna come back and walk back this way to find you one of my favorites. This is a sedge, and this guy has already been blooming for a little while, right? It's already been going to seed, so they're nice and ripe. But we have these beautiful kind of big open golden bits, and when they turn brown like this, that means that they're almost ripe and ready to drop. You can tell a sedge because if you look at it from the top, sedge grass, because it has 3 leaves coming out of the top. Okay, and then it also has this kind of like firework-like burst, and the stalk itself is triangular. And so we have a bunch more back there, right? Woohoo! So pretty. You can see too, like now is the time for all of the ripe fruit. So our tomatoes are ripening. Oof. We have these are an heirloom variety from Ian, who you might have seen on the Supper Club doing pizza. And we have tons more I need to harvest down there. This is all dill. We have all of these jalapenos, so many of them. So we've been eating on those. Just clusters and clusters of tomatoes everywhere. It's time for me to harvest all of these. So let's see, some of the other beautiful natives that we have are, well, let's talk about these guys, right? You remember the Queen Anne's lace? This is the wild carrot. Right now it is in its seed stage, and they call this the bird's nest. And so this is what I was talking about, how the seed heads or the flowers turn into seeds. So you can see them right next to each other. I'm gonna get really close. So you can see that these little seeds, yep, this is the new generation of carrots, wild carrots. And so this beauty right here, we'll harvest these, and these are a great sort of women's aid. They can keep fertilized things from implanting to the uterus, so they say, but don't, you know, count on it, but it can definitely help. So those are those, and I want to take a big step back here just to show you what they look like now. This was all white, and now they have this beautiful brown tinge. This is the cycle of birth, life, flourishing, flowering, and now we're going into ripening and like the wise woman stage. And these little guys will soon die off completely. You can see with this one's dying off a lot quicker than the rest because probably where it is, you know, and it's totally dry. And so this will die sooner than the other ones. But that is the cycle of everything. And so we have so much going to fruit. And we are just harvesting so many delicious things here. This is my second bean patch, my third bean patch. I don't know, I'm crazy on beans this year. And you can see, if we get in, all of these big, long, beautiful beans. What I'll do after we get off here is I'll be harvesting all of these gorgeous beans and probably pickling them because I've been eating beans as fast as I can. It's pretty nuts. And then we have them up here onto the peach tree. We also have our peaches, which are ripe, and they are so delicious, let me tell you. They're just dripping off of this tree, and they keep falling. You can see that little guy over there, so I have to keep picking him up. In ways of new life, I just planted another round of beans. Why? I don't know. I just really like beans. And then we have one of them sprouted. And you can see too, we have a lot of slugs this year because we have been watering so thoroughly, but the slugs eat the young tender leaves like that. So I'll be putting a slug trap out here and hoping some more of these beans come up. So yeah, so here we have, oh, here's another beautiful, here, I'll show you this one, another specimen of a native plant which actually grows all over the country. This is called evening primrose, and so this is this beautiful flowered plant. It blooms in the evening, it blooms at night, and so it is gorgeous But during the day, all of these blossoms die. As you can see, as they go down, one bloom, 1 to 3 bloom every night, and you can see the new ones right there. And you can see the ones from last night right there. Right, and then we have all of the ones that are dead, and then all the seed pods that are ripening. Evening primrose seed is incredible for skin care and for health. And so another question I get asked a lot is like, what is going to seed and why do the plants look so different? So at the beginning of their life, they're nice and low to the ground. They're kind of like, you can see here, like this basil, right? It's low to the ground and tender and tender. And so, right, as things go to seed, they start to bolt upwards. We call it bolting or going to seed, and it's actually a good thing. It has a lot of connotations of being bad. Going to seed, you know, well, it means that you're going to ripen. You're bringing all your wisdom together. Let me just take it back for you. And you can see that this thing is so big, and normally they'd be a lot bigger, but we've had to cull a whole bunch off of it because it's just been huge in the walkway. But so what it does is it gets longer. The leaves get smaller, and they suck the energy from the leaves into the main plant, with leaving just enough to photosynthesize, so that way they can create their flowers, to pollinate, to create the next generation. And so it gets long and tall, and all the energy goes into seed production. So one more plant I want to show you are these beauties. These are the purple hyacinth beans. They look like hyacinths, you can see, and they're just so freaking gorgeous. And right now their pods are, lush. And so you can see, let me zoom in a little. You can see here that the beans inside are developing, and this is a different way. This is a legume-based plant, and they develop their seeds in pods. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me on this little garden tour. If anyone has a new grill, holler. We need one. So much love to you. Signing off till next time. I'll see you all soon. So much love.